do you know how sometimes you self-sabotage yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Like you have intrusive thoughts and then I don't know about you, but you get into these thought processes where they're kind of like cascade from one thing to another to another to another, and you spiral down. And on some level, you're aware that this thought process is insane, and that you know more or less what could solve it, but there's a part of you, and there's a very strong part of you that is just like, no, I deserve to be in this hole.
Yeah, all too well. Sometimes I can catch it, and I'll even say aloud, like, other thoughts. But, you know, that the trouble is when you need that mental fortitude and strength is when you tend to lack it. And, like, depression is sort of, many ways, when your emotional energy has been drained to the point where you just don't have the ability to, man.
Yeah. Oh, welcome to Monstrous Mythtakes, a depression-based podcast by two depressed men in their 40s.
Actually, I think those two are synonymous, but
closer than ever to the grave. Every day.
Yeah, looking forward to it some days.
Some days.
So,
actually,
Monstrous Mythtakes.
Monstrous Mythtakes. What are we going to do today? We're going to come up with a monster. And talk about it.
That's right. We're each going to give each other a name and a very short and usually slightly mysterious description, occasionally just all sort of squidged together into the title, and then the other person's going to riff on it with the original person's help until we have ourselves a brand new monstrous mythtake.
I like this idea a lot. Who's going first today?
I'll go first.
You can go first. Okay, go.
All right. I would like you to tell me about the Dire Roblin. Once thought to be extinct or mythological, events proved their existence beyond question.
Okay, are you putting this in the chat?
I am.
Okay. Our small mythtakes, our bonus mythtakes, will have keyboard clicks, and we're not ashamed of them in these ones, but we are very ashamed of them in our mainline ones.
Yes.
The Dire Roblin, once thought to be extinct or mythological, events proved their existence beyond question. Interesting. Okay. The Dire Roblin.
This is definitely one of those ones where I came up with an idea for a monster, came up with a name for a monster, and then went, no, that's a great name. I'm just going to give it to Chris and let him do something completely different with it.
Okay, yeah, the Dire Roblin. Okay, well, the Dire Roblin, I suppose, presupposes the existence of just a normal standard Roblin.
It does, yes. Unless, of course, Roblin is an older name for something else.
Ooh, yeah, could well be. Okay. This one, I'm having trouble starting this one because I actually have like 4 or 5 distinct ideas coming from this name, which I really like.
Well, do you want to talk about the different ones and work through which one you want to go with together, or are you just going to self-select?
Yeah, absolutely not. I'm not giving up the cream of my brain to the listeners who will steal my ideas.
The ones we're giving away for free?
Very. This is free?
Yeah.
What? We're not getting paid for this?
Not last time I checked.
Oh my god. Where's all this money coming from?
I don't know. And could I have some? Anyway, please. Dire Roblins. Tell me about Dire Roblins.
Okay, well, let me tell you about Roblins first. A Roblin is actually a type of provincial faery. So Roblins make their homes in farmsteads, and they are they often have, no, they always have the sort of body of a very small human or humanoid, and the head of a robin, a bird.
Okay, I love it. Yes.
Okay. These are mostly seen on the island of Lumara, and they don't sort of go beyond that particular area. No one really knows why. The ways of the Fae are mysterious. And I guess there's Fae in our world now.
Yeah.
Which I suppose there there would be, because in Dungeons and Dragons they exist, so they must also in some form exist here. Roblins form small communities in barns. And they are the kind of small creature that, if you treat them well and if you leave some food for them, maybe some milk or some
Seeds, because they're sort of Robinish.
Yeah, seeds. They will help you look after the barn. They will let you know if there are predators around, things like that. If you don't respect the Roblins, something terrible happens. So what happens is that that small community of Roblins, over time, kind of grows together like a tumor, becoming a kind of house cat-sized Dire Roblin. That's what they call it. The terrifying thing about it is that it is kind of made up of all of the bodies of these small creatures, with one dominant one actually doing the walking, a bunch of like legs and hands and arms coming out, and basically this large tumorous mass of beaks squawking. So once thought to be extinct or mythological. So because the Great Consociate Empire moved so far beyond Lumara, these things have kind of declined, and as more people became urban rather than living in villages and things like that, they were seen less and less and less. Something that happened recently in the city of Spiraxis, it was a Dire Roblin that appears to have been made out of many, many, many of these Roblin communities, as villages of nearby towns, villages, I suppose, have kind of stopped doing the rituals for them and stopped giving them these offerings and seeds. It has led to sort of a critical mass and a literal mass of these Roblins. And one rampaged down the streets of Spiraxis in recent years, and was quite large. It was way larger than a dragonborn. It was made up of all of these creatures, and it was very, very angry.
Yeah. There were definitely fatalities. Yeah.
There were definitely fatalities, yeah. It wasn't difficult to kill or anything like that, but yeah. So, yep, they do exist. And I would say that at least on the island of Lumara, the kind of the government would have made some announcements about, hey guys, can we start feeding these things again? Or perhaps, on the other hand, it went the other way, and there now might very well be Roblin exterminators.
Oh. Now, sort of both are sort of interesting if
Or
you
it could
go
be
the
regional
second,
responses. It could be regional responses, right? Like it could also, it doesn't necessarily have, like the island of Lumara, it's a big place, you know?
but if the first idea that you've got to, let's go back to our old customs and start feeding those Roblins again. If the problem is like, well, you feed them and all they do is they cheep at you a bunch if foxes come by the hen house, is that really worth it for the danger of
That's
these
right.
dire Roblins? So it feels to me like maybe the normal Roblins need to be important in some other way. There's some other niche that they fill.
Yeah, okay. Like an ecological niche?
Yeah, or a
Perhaps.
diplomatic one. I mean, what if they are the most common liaisons between village folk and the scarier fae in the forests?
Yeah, that's a good idea, because also that kind of goes into that whole thing of dealing with the Fae being extremely inconvenient. Because
Yes.
I honestly cannot imagine anything more inconvenient than like a little barn guy with the head of a bird, and he's just going beep beep beep
It,
at you, and he's trying to communicate something. It's like, what have I done? What's happening? Do I need a
it,
lawyer?
in my head, they're quite burly, but they've got
Okay, yeah.
like they've still got the delicate
Yeah.
robin head, but they've got these quite muscular humanoid bodies. I don't know why, but in my
So like red caps or something, right?
yeah.
Like these kind of burly kind of steady stocky farm boy bodies,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then yeah, the delicate kind of yeah. That's a good image. I like that. I think I could draw that actually. I think my art is just good enough for this one
Oh,
monster.
I'd like to see that. And if you could try your hand at the Dire Roblin as well.
Oh yeah, the Dire Roblin. That would be good. I'm thinking. Do you know? I know you haven't watched much Evangelion, but do you know? Do you remember what Lilith looked like?
I have watched all of the back half of. No,
Okay,
I've watched the entire series.
so you know how she was like crucified, and then like at the bottom she had all these like small human legs coming out of her.
I'll be honest with you, no, but you describe it well.
But anyway, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking. I don't think we
All
should
right.
crucify these guys, but I mean,
No,
no.
that seems mean.
But let's go. Okay, let's go a little deeper into this, because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's not a bad thing to start with, but I think there could be a little more to these guys.
Sure.
I'm thinking. Okay, first of all, are they clothed? Second of all, if they are clothed, who makes the clothing, Aaron? We're going into this rabbit hole. And perhaps so do they. The rabbits make the clothes. It's all coming together.
What if their clothes are made from rabbit?
Oh,
Like
okay.
they actually go hunting for their own clothes,
For
and
rabbits, yeah.
yeah, the the little family of Roblins go into a rabbit warren and kill a rabbit and bring it out and skin it and leave the carcass for the farmer.
Yeah.
Part of their,
Okay.
the whole Fey bargain back and forth thing.
Well, it's like a cat leaving you like a dead mouse or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
only skinned and like way bigger and potentially
Yeah.
more useful.
Yeah, you can make a soup out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty good. Okay. I guess we describe them physically.
Yeah.
What other senses? What do they smell like, Aaron? I think they don't smell very good. I think they smell like what you imagine a barn to smell like.
I immediately went to they smell like somebody who works for a living, just tiny.
Yes. Yep. So like a rush hour Melbourne train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is there any benefits to defeating a dire Roblin?
I actually think there is. Do you know how in the first one of these we made a joke that each one of our animals carries a coin? I think these
Yes.
guys do actually carry a coin. But I think the coin is in some way related to how they enter the Fey realm.
What if you said that there was always one Roblin that's sort of the
Like
controller of the Dire Roblin?
the dominant Roblin, yes.
The dominant Roblin, the Dom Rob.
The Roblin Prime, if you will. Yeah.
What if you become the Roblin Prime because you hold the coin that is the key to the passage to the Fey realms?
Brilliant. But if you, I suppose, if you defeat any other Roblin, you just get tiny rabbit clothes.
Yeah, and since they're not really meant to be monsters anyway, it's really only the Dire Roblin that's you're supposed to fight, and they would always have they would have one coin that is somehow. Yes.
Yeah. Look, and I think to expand it just a little bit, I think Roblins are what they are called on Lumara, but I think there are loads and loads of these types of creature everywhere.
With different regional differences, different heads,
different regional, maybe different heads, maybe they perform a different task, maybe their relationship to the humans or to the Fey realm is different as well. All this kind of thing. This could be expanded to like a whole bloody thing, like
Yep.
Yeah.
do an entire supplement just on the tiny Fey folk that rural folk deal with.
Yeah, I like that one.
All right. Okay, I think that's great.
Yeah, brilliant.
And we've expanded our setting a good deal more. What do you have for me?
You need to first of all
get a dice.
Yes, and roll a d3.
I'll see if I can find a 3-sided dice.
That's funny.
It is. It is a 2.
It's a 2. You have chosen the vermin of the skies. Now, Aaron, could you please roll a d6?
I should have known.
Yeah.
Ooh, we have a 6.
You have a 6, which should be the best one. Okay. Aaron, tell me of the Stainglass Rattler, winged. The story I have for it, the description I have for it is the Stainglass Rattler. The Stainglass Rattler appears only when it rains. That's it. That's the entire description. I don't know if that's a bit bare for you, but...
No. I like it. So it is the Stainglass Rattler, winged, which, just like the Dire Roblin suggests that there were Roblins, suggests that there are non-winged Stainglass Rattlers.
Yes. And it appears only when it rains.
I'm only winged when it rains. I'm,
cool,
a bit of garbage.
Cool. Yeah. Cool. Popular music. Is it still popular music? Cool. Popular music from 2 decades ago.
Yeah.
Or
that
3
2
decades?
and a half.
Oh my god, Jesus. This aging thing does not suit me very well. I don't like it.
All right. I think this is something between so it's a brightly coloured lizard, kind of like the sort of Gila monster in shape.
Oh yeah, okay.
Except that, of course, its bright colours are blues and reds and oranges and yellows and greens, like a true multi-spectrum. Often in these are just irregular shapes, but they are always limbed in a dark greyish black, hence the stained glass section part of it. It does, however, at the end of its tail, it does have a rattlesnake rattle on the end of it, the sort of the dry bit that rattles when they shake it, and that is its warning and that uses it the same way that a rattlesnake does.
Mm.
They are not venomous, however, a little like the Komodo dragon, they're small but sharp fangs, so like disgustingly filthy. That a bite from one is a danger. When it rains, the males will go out into the rain and they will begin to suffer a metamorphosis. Now, they're not going to go out for a short sprinkle or shower. They do wait for a proper storm. And under the metamorphic power of the rain and the electrical current in a proper storm sky, they will grow wings. The Stainglass Rattlers will then battle one another. They go into an absolute frenzy, a mating frenzy, and they fight one another. The winners will then land wherever the I think they are a semi-social creature, so like not a full like rat nest sort of thing, but they do have like a rookery type arrangement.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can see that.
And I think that they have adapted to urban areas really well in that they climb very well. So they've got lots of the same places where you might find a bird rookery, you might find instead a rattler rookery. And indeed, they often take them over because they eat a lot of bird eggs and small birds.
Interesting.
Because I think they are Gila monster sized.
Yeah, okay.
So they go into a mating frenzy. So if you happen to be out in a storm and wandering around rooftops, not a great time to be in. But that's not their real problem, because you see the winners of this mating frenzy will mate with one or more females. The females then, however, kill and consume the successful males, and go on to lay eggs. The unsuccessful males often die because they do fight, but if they don't die immediately, they never return to the roost, but they are still in a like actively violent frenzy, just less frenzy. They're still now easily aggro and aggressive, and they will then start wandering the city. Their sort of purpose is now fulfilled, as it were. So they will continue to sort of eat and hunt and do things, but they will now attack anything, regardless of size. It is a genuine problem with Stainglass Rattlers beating themselves against statues, being run over by carts, as well as attacking humanoids of all sizes and shapes and so forth.
Could you domesticate one? Could you keep
a winged one? No, absolutely.
No.
You could absolutely domesticate a Stainglass Rattler in the same way you could domesticate a lizard, which is to say, to a degree. Especially
I always found that trying to make a lizard a pet, or like a reptile of any kind. People have some cool like videos about it, and they talk about like how what their different reptiles do and how they feel and stuff. But I don't think they do or feel really anything. I think they just kind of sit there, and I think they just like plot. And I think they're just the only thing that they're thinking is, if I was 10,000 times larger, my life would be so much better right now.
I'd say that their bed is slightly less domesticated than the average cat. You can absolutely have a positive relationship with one, but yes. I don't think you're ever going to, use it to herd animals or anything like that. It's too small at any rate.
No.
So yes, you could, but of course it's a dangerous thing because it has this desire. If you've got a male, anyway, you have this desire to go out into the rain and then become a frenzied, bitey, flying mini, brightly colored dragon-esque thing.
So what you're saying is that it's the cure to male loneliness?
Not even slightly, although it does do that a little bit. Probably best to
So,
just have a female Stainglass Rattler, less chance of it going insane. Although it
yeah.
might eat somebody else's Stainglass Rattler winged.
So like us.
I think that they people have often associated them with dragons,
Yeah.
but they are entirely unrelated.
Yeah.
They just bear a vague similarity. I do think they are a natural species. They're not magically
Yeah, they sound like a
changed,
natural species, yeah.
except that they've adapted over the millennia to urban living. In their sort of, you can still find them out sort of in the natural world, where they exist in caves and cliff faces and so forth. But the largest populations are in large urban areas. That just suits them really well. And Heliakon, being one of the largest urban areas, has a large problem. And it is a problem. It means after every storm, you have to walk your kids to school because there could be a maddened Stainglass winged rattler around just waiting to attack them.
But also, I suppose there'll be rattler catchers.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe we could combine something with that.
Yeah.
Because dire roblins are a problem and winged Stainglass rattlers are a problem. These are vaguely similar sized, irregular problems. I mean, if you
Or just, I guess,
specialize in,
yeah, I guess just exterminators in general, right? Like vermin, vermin. They consider them all of these things vermin. So like vermin, removalists.
yeah, I'm definitely thinking something a bit more, a bit cooler in fantasy. Because I mean, exterminators in our world have to do some gnarly stuff, but
Rat
exterminators.
paladins. Rat paladins.
But exterminators in Heliakon and all of Delmarin have to be made of even sterner stuff
Yeah.
because some of the things they deal with are beyond the pale. There's a term, I don't want to use it, but I do like the term from the Jim Butcher, his sort of steampunky, I forget what it's called, the Ether something.
The aeronauts.
The
Something,
Aeronauts
wasn't it?
Windless was the first book,
Windless.
but I
That's
can't
it.
remember what the series is called now. The Cinder
Yeah.
Spire series.
Yes.
He's got yes.
Thank you, Jim Butcher, for your cool descriptions of ladies in those other books that I really liked.
Sure, I
About
like
the
his
wizard.
books.
Yeah, me too.
Verminocitors. Yes, verminocitors. I think they were called.
Ooh, okay.
And I don't want to use that, but something in that vein.
Vermisor. No.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm now tabbing over to thesaurus.com, which is one of my favorite places to just look at English words and see what jumps out at me. And I don't know whether we really ought to be doing this while we're recording.
We shouldn't be doing this while we're recording. I feel like this reveals too much of how the sausage is made.
The whole point of our show is how the sausage is made.
Oh yeah, okay. Well then that's okay, guys. Thesaurus, really good. I know it looks like the saurus, but don't be afraid.
And hell, sometimes that can be its own inspiration.
Yeah. Synonyms.
What's got you giggling?
I just looked up synonyms for night because I want some kind of nightly order that goes in the sewers.
I don't hate that notion that.
Yeah. What's a banneret? A banneret. That's a good name. That's a good word. I've never heard that.
I mean, is it
Banner.
too on the nose to just call them sewer knights?
Sewer knights? Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe they've got a proper
Sewer
name.
knights.
You know how like the
Yeah.
Templar Knights is what everyone knows them, but their actual name is the Order of the Temple of Solomon.
Yeah.
What if they are like the steadfast protectors of the sewer, or something like that?
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. Huh. How about oh my god, what's the what about cesspit sentinels?
Because a cesspit is just where you put urine and feces. It's not where you put pests and vermin.
Yeah, but they live there.
If you're talking to the floor, so
but they can live there too. Okay, I feel like maybe we're not going to work this out on this episode, but I do like the idea of it.
Yeah.
But also, here's something tragic that I want to share with you. And that is that I actually have a really cool idea on how to fit a Fey realm into our world of Heliakon that works really well and almost perfectly with the magic system.
Oh, yeah.
But guess what?
We have somewhat finished recording our major episodes.
We've finished it. We've done it. So it's never going to be there. That's not true. Not never. I'm sure we're going to come back to it.
We absolutely will.
But this episode actually, gave me a really good idea for it. So
yeah. Well, we've got two good ideas out of it then. You've got an idea about how to make a Fey realm, and we are going to work out some sort of special exterminator class.
Okay, let's work it out now. Let's fucking work it out now. Okay. You don't like Cesspit Sentinel? It sounds good though. It does sound good. You have to.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't. I like sentinels, but I mean, then we're back to sort of sewer sentinels.
Okay. What's another word for vermin? For vermin, let's go vermin.
Pest.
Scum.
Yes.
Scum. Okay. Well, do we want to? Okay. You said steadfast. I like that. Steadfast order of something.
Or the Order of Steadfast Sentinels of the Order of Steadfast Sentinels against the small.
No, I don't think. No, not quite. Almost. We're almost there, I feel. I don't know, against the small.
Yeah, I was just looking for alliteration.
Yeah, it's really good. I like it. Sentinels. Okay. Order of Steadfast. But it should have something about like, well, what do they do, right? Like they clean up, right?
Yes.
They purify, right?
Yeah.
What about the order of steadfast purification or purificators or something?
Yeah.
And then they call them sewer knights, and they hate that.
What about the steadfast against the scourge?
The scourge, yeah.
And scourges are just the various vermin things.
Okay, hold on. Now you said the order. Say again.
The Order of Steadfast Sentinels against the scourge, or against scourges. Not working.
Yeah, no,
it's a little clumsy, I admit.
So I think steadfast order. It's good. Something scourge.
I like sentinels. It's
sentinels.
The steadfast order of sentinels against the scourge.
Of sentinels. Against the scourge. Yeah.
Are you convinced? Yeah.
Yeah. Against the scourge.
I'd like your
It's so
your
long.
enthusiastic agreement. Is there something you wanted to change?
No, because I like everything that's in there, but I think I don't like the order, and I don't like how long it is. It's too long. Nothing in real life is well, no, that's not true. A lot of
well, like I
things in
said, I
real
mean,
life
there's
are
the poor knights of the Temple of Solomon is an awfully long name. But that's why they just get called the Templar Knights. They're literally called the poor knights of the Temple of Solomon. It's
they are called that. I feel sorry for them.
don't they're all dead. So
yay!
falsely accused of heresy by King Philip II because he owed them a lot of money.
They should have been actually they should have been actual heretics because religion's not real.
They were allowed to do usury thanks to their deal with the Pope. Hence the owing lots of money thing.
Yeah,
and that's our origin for the Friday the 13th being a bad luck. Because
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I thought it was the movie. The movies did that.
No, way for several centuries before the films. Several centuries before film was a thing.
Wow. Yeah. That's okay. Steadfast order of sentinels against the scourge. What about steadfast order of sentinels standing against the scourge, or something against the scourge? If they're just against the scourge, it's not very actiony. We're just against it. We're not going to do anything with it. But then
what about
they are steadfast?
The steadfast order of scourge slaying sentinels?
That's better. Yeah, scourge slaying sentinels. Yeah.
I mean, it's. I gotta admit, I'm just going alliterative here, but I do love a good alliteration. I do
like. Okay. I'm going to write it down. Steadfast order of scourge slaying sentinels. Okay. The steadfast order of scourge slaying sentinels, or the sewer knights, as everyone else calls them.
I like it, honestly.
Yeah, I like it. If we come up with something better, we can change it. But that is actually really good. SOSSS. SOS. We've done it again. And it's only taken us 37 minutes, most of which was looking at thesaurus.com.
Which was good stuff for the video folk who get to see how long sometimes it takes us and how you should all be saying yes and checking in of how enthusiastic other people are. But we'll cut almost all of it out for the podcast.
Oh, absolutely. What a nightmare it would be, I think. I only barely watch these videos as well, even as I edit them. I'm just like, okay, what is something? Did Aaron say something offensive again that I have to take out? Anyway, so that's my thinking. So, all the slurs that Aaron does, I take them out every time. Okay? And it's a lot. It's so weird. Like, he's got this thing against the Irish. Like, I don't even know why. I have no opinions about the Irish at all. I've got some opinions about Russians. I'm not going to get into it.
No.
Yeah, I'm allowed. Yeah.
It's in the rules.
We've done it. Okay.
All right.
Let's do the. Okay. Thank you for listening. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode. This might be slightly longer than our usual episodes because I will leave some of us kind of fumbling around and looking for the correct word or phrase or name for something, because I think that's actually pretty useful. But maybe I'll put some music behind it just to make it a little more interesting. Or maybe I won't.
Some hard rock. Some serious punk.
Some hard rock, some throbbing, pulsating rock.
And on that, more than slightly erotic note, goodbye. Like, subscribe, and do something with his throbbing rock.
Do something with my throbbing rock, please.
Bye.